Hello. On this video you will hear about organizational collaboration between university and non-academic sector. Nationally and internationally there are many practices, of course. For example, the EU-funded Marie Sklodowska-Curie ITN projects are quite well known, and they especially encourage to do intersectoral collaboration in doctoral education. On this video the focus is on one collaboration model and its practices on the Doctoral School of Industry Innovations. DSII, this is the short name for this school, is running at Tampere University in Finland. You will hear now about some practices and experiences of DSII by some key actors. Professor Pauli Kuosmanen is in charge of this doctoral school. Business Director Jukka Matikainen is facilitating the collaboration. Professor Joni Kämäräinen acts as one supervisor. Antti Sirén is an industry partner, and Kim Kalmankoski is the doctoral researcher of DSII. I am Virve Kallioniemi-Chambers, and in the end of the video I will make some concluding remarks regarding the organizational collaboration in the context of doctoral education.
So first, it's important to understand that this is not only doctoral school for university, but it's about collaboration between industry and university. Collaboration in many ways. Firstly, in practice, it means that the industry decides the research theme. So the theme for the research that some researcher then will be doing should be industry relevant. So this is key principle number one.
The DSII program from the company point of view, I think the main reason is that there is a new technology that you think it is a potential technology for your field of your company. And your question is that how can we adopt and adapt this technology for us? You have two different options for that one. You find an expert on that field, recruit that expert. But this is very expensive, and we all know that recruiting top people is not easy, especially when it is some trendy field. The second option is, of course, that you have a very good people in your company. You might say that let's take one of them, and this person starts to learn about this new technology. But at the same time, you make a decision to take this person away from their daily work. And this is not always what you want. So I think that the DSII is the idea where we combine those two ideas.
Tamlink is a technology transfer company. So we operate at the interfaces of research and industry, and Doctoral School of Industry Innovation is one of the most interesting and most efficient tools to connect companies with scientific university research. Our role is not to take care of the academic side of DSII, that's the university's job. We bring in our expertise in facilitating collaboration between businesses and researchers, and our experience on R&D and business development projects that utilize scientific research.
I applied for the DSII program because I wanted to have a thesis that is related closely on an industrial application. I've always been more interested in applied research, and Vaisala being the possible industry partner was of course a big deal. They have a profile of high-end precision instrument manufacturer, and the possibility of learning their culture of decision-making and carrying research projects was appealing. On the academic side, the employment contract of 4 years has a high value when otherwise you could end up applying for money at least a few times during the project.
Secondly, the collaboration takes place in terms of funding. The funding is shared basically 50-50 between the company and the university. So both have the responsibility to fund the research. Thirdly, then the collaboration takes place how we take care of the student. So after the topic has been chosen, then we advertise these topics globally to seek for the best possible students then to do the actual research to pursue towards the doctoral degree. And then when the student has been jointly chosen, so the company together with the university chooses the best student, then together we supervise her or him.
This community-based approach is an important thing when we are talking about DSII. It's not always easy to balance between academic requirements and business-driven needs, and your colleagues who are facing similar problems can help a lot.
The DSII doctoral school is a good partner for a group of companies like FIMA. When we have a project that requires advanced research and the need for information is common, and also when we can share the results. This thesis work provides many basic solutions that FIMA member companies can use in their own further research or product development. This is a good example how to achieve the best possible benefits from academic work for industry.
Look, of course, one point of view of the DSII is from the supervisor's point of view. What makes these DSII's programs interesting to me as a supervisor? I think probably even I was a bit skeptic in the beginning, because I was thinking that, look, I'm an academic researcher, I want to do stuff which is important somewhere in the future. But when I started my first DSII program, I got very interested, because actually I thought that in the academic kind of like avenue, I was doing something which will be very important for the companies. But then I noticed that already, maybe 5 years ago, our research has diverged. We were doing actually the wrong way. And those people from company helped us to think that, look, your work is beautiful, but actually we have these restrictions and limitations in the real products. Can you steer it towards there? I was shocked in the beginning, but then I was extremely happy, because at the end I learned to do a proper research. I made a great research papers that are now part of the products. Can you imagine? So it's a paper published in the top scientific journal, and then it finds its way to a product. I think this is that benefits to both. And as a supervisor, I'm so happy about that one, because now I know that by discussing regularly with people from the companies, I actually keep myself and my knowledge cutting edge and state of the art.
DSII provides the community of students working in different fields, and while the projects are vastly different from one another, there are still common general things that are surprisingly similar. It is nice to have other students who also have the experience of working with companies. During the years, we have visited companies where others work, and those visits are really valuable. And the DSII has also regular visits of industry experts that come to show their work and chat with students. And you don't really meet those people easily elsewhere.
Companies need doctoral graduates who have the ability to apply research knowledge in business contexts. Doctoral School of Industry Innovations, as the name suggests, is a school for mastering the art of innovation that needs both science and business to turn ideas into reality and solve real-life problems.
Collaboration between university and non-academic institutions can be discussed from various points of view. When the context for collaboration is doctoral education, it is good to keep in mind that collaboration covers not just individual learning goals, but also sharing and developing educational practices between these learning environments involved, as we have just heard about. As concluding remarks, I have here some themes to be discussed in building the doctoral education collaboration. First, what are the shared objectives, the context-based objectives, and also individual goals? Related to this, how the objectives for doctoral education are defined in the university's documents? What is required from the dissertation? These issues are not necessarily very clear for non-academic sector, and for this reason it is good to take them on the discussion agenda. Secondly, it is good to identify the key actors and other actors involved in collaboration. It's not only supervisors and doctoral researchers, but also support services and administrative persons in these two sectors, and possible other facilitators in collaboration. In defining the activities and more specified goals for doctoral researchers' learning, the term transferable skills might help the work. You can find different kind of lists and definitions for this term, but in discussion it could be used, for example, this picture produced by European Council of Doctoral Candidates and Junior Researchers, Eurodoc. All formal agreements that are needed would be good to be available already in the beginning. The agreements can specify the rights and obligations of each party, general rules for collaboration, financial issues, and intellectual property ownership. University supervisor and the supervisor in non-academic sector have different kinds of roles and responsibilities, and they need to be clarified. The list of transferable skills might help with this task as well. The rules for organizational collaboration can vary a lot. Whatever the situation is, the organizational collaboration within doctoral education, it takes time. It takes time to build understanding on the shared goals and identify both individual and the organizational interests and objectives. Research confirms that continuity in collaboration requires trustful relationships. Transparent collaboration practices helps to be aware of the process and its progress. The diversity of possible actors requires space for flexibility in collaboration and rechecking the goals in the process. It is important to make plans, but have also some flexibility. As one main purpose of the collaboration is to ensure relevant learning possibilities for the doctoral researcher, the pedagogical practices grounded in these two different kinds of contexts ideally engage doctoral researcher actively to the process. Some milestones with the purpose to check in the process and achievements are good to set for the timetable. Knowledge exchange is very much about mindset, and for academics it might require some efforts to find new ways to think how educationally the research impact can be implemented. It is not necessarily so that more money would solve the possible structural and cultural obstacles in the collaboration process, but rather it can be more the question on the research mission and personal mindset. If doctoral education can be developed in a way that doctoral researchers will learn to work both in academic and non-academic environments, promoting the research impact and evidence-based practices, also the career paths for the new doctorates look promising. All the best with your collaboration processes. Thank you.